the Cuba issue, things like that. So I admired him quite a bit. But there's always two sides to every coin. So
Yeah, of course.
Let's talk about LBJ,
Oh.
who was sworn in after Kennedy's assassination. He passed a lot of school acts and a lot of funding for elementary schools and middle schools. Did those affect you at all? Do you know if those affected your schooling?
not to my knowledge, because back then you could buy a loaf of bread for 25 cents. And go to the groceries and you spend $10, you buy a lot of groceries. So my dad was always able to provide well for us, so I didn't really get involved in it, or we as a family didn't.
I think he had federal money, $8 billion of federal money given to middle and elementary schools.
Wow. That's a lot of money back then.
It's still a lot now.
Let's see. What was one of your favorite music groups from the 60s?
What was fun?
Your favorite music group?
I went to a Three Dog Night concert, and that was probably the best group.
Yeah?
Yeah, right here out in Woodland Hills. It was fun.
That's cool.
That group was good. There was a lot of good, Creedence Clearwater.
Do you like the Stones or...
Rolling Stones were good. Everybody played those. Obviously the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
You can't miss them. Bob Dylan was still alive and well. Heavy drug addict. You probably know that already. But there was, a few.
That's good.
We listened mostly. My sister was like 8 years older than me, and we grew up on, bebop and rock and roll in the old days. We still do.
Yeah.
There's radios that do nothing but that. But those five could, Rolling Stones, Beatles, Bob Dylan, Creedence Clearwater.
That's good.
So it's cool. It was fun.
Do you feel that after those music groups were in the 60s, do you feel today that there's way more genres of entertainment today instead of just a few like that?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Do you feel there's new genres of entertainment today than then?
Oh, yeah. It's changed, I don't, about all I listen, there's a lot of difference today. It isn't like, we were kind of stuck with rock and roll. Everybody's breaking out into their little world, playing their kind of music, And what in the 50s, well, you saw the blacks played well, they were brought up. So.
Do you have a humorous memory or like a story that you like every time you like think about it, you just laugh?
My sister, who's 4 years older than I am, and my older brother, we used to go and when we lived in the country, we'd go out at night and we'd go garden raiding. We'd steal cantaloupes from the neighbor and watermelon, just different fruits they had growing. And we went under this big oak tree that was in the back of our 2.5 acres where we lived, and we would hide the fruit inside there and pack it with ice. And then there was a big branch of the oak tree that stuck out that you had to hold down to get over into the hole. So my wonderful sister decided when I was laying on the thing, she let go of the branch, and I went shooting over the tree and landed just a few feet from where the hole was. And that comes up every once in a while when we have a family get together. But I think if I knew I was going to do that, I'd stayed off the damn thing. But some goofy, stupid thing that brothers and sisters do together.
Yeah. Let's finish these ones. So,
do you view the 60s as a good or a bad time in history?
I think it's good because we were growing then and learning and exploring. Economically, I thought they were fine. when we started. I had a 64 Chevy Impala Super Sport, 327, big carburetor, big wide tires on it. That's where we spent our money in. My brother chased girls. My older brother smoked his marijuana. Had a good time. My brother and I got into rebuilding old cars, so that was fun.
Was there any car in particular? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
I was gonna ask, was there any car in particular you like, one of your favorites you enjoyed rebuilding?
I had a 1941 Hudson, had the suicide doors that open like that, so you could push people out after you killed them. No, but we mostly he was into Hudsons, and he'd go to auctions and buy them and restore them and put them back up. But that was a fun one. And after I went into service, I sold the thing right before I left home. Bought it for $150, sold it for $26,000.
Dang.
That was a good deal. Little old lady up in Northridge, I saw it in the paper, and there was one dent on the hood. Got that fixed and put another $600-700 in it, and I wish I would have hung on to the damn thing.
All right, and let's see.
Is there a sad memory that stuck with you from the 60s?
I'm sorry?
Is there like a sad memory that stuck with you from the 60s? Like something you don't want to remember?
Going back quite a ways, huh? 60 years. Probably when my Uncle Paul died. He was killed in a car crash, and people just weren't supposed to die. And that was a sad time. That was my first experience with death, and something you just don't like to do.
How did your experience in the 1960s affect your attitudes towards life today?
How did the actions of the 60s?
Yeah, like how does what happened back then affect what you do today or what you think today?
Just try and what it did for me was speak my mind and express how I feel about things and how I want to do things. Because a lot of people I know just they're like a blind sheep. They just follow the crowd.
All right, and just a few more questions. What'd you do for fun in the 60s with your friends, aside from all the politics?
We turned into kids and rode bicycles, played baseball. We had a pond near our home, and we would go fishing, go down, we'd take our dog down and watch him take snakes and slap them around his head, take BB guns and shoot those. We were all fishing one day, and I had a bite, and I stood up like that. And at the same time, I stepped back, and a big old water moccasin came by. So my brother, same time as I stand up, he raises the BB gun to shoot it and shoots me in the back. So, little crazy things like that. Swimming, movies once in a while. We'd go to McDonald's with the family, and you could buy a hamburger for 20 cents. So that, for $5, you could go take the whole family out and dinner. So little things like that. We were just kids.
And did your parents ever discuss with you what political party they were part of?
No. My mom didn't have time. She was always busy cooking and taking care of business.
And what did your parents do for a living?
My dad was a machinist. And my mom, what did she do? She came over from Italy, learned how to speak English, all that, got her citizenship. She got into electronics, inside consoles for fighter aircraft.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now she's 92, still alive and well, so things are good. Yeah. Goes by fast. My dad died 97.
Oh.
So it's been 20 years already. Crazy.
Do you have any questions from there, so?
Yeah, I still have a couple.
Not from this.
Oh no, we're done with that.
All right.
You lived through the Cold War, so were you or your family afraid of the Soviet Union?
Afraid of what?
The Soviet Union.
I don't think so, because of the fact that just how people would see of us as being a very strong military country. You know, people kind of really didn't worry about them too much. Because I think at that time I'm sure they're part of the superpower thing now, if you want to use that word. But I think we had a stronger military.
You didn't really worry about them dropping a nuke or anything?
No, I think they were. If they did that to us, we would probably destroy the world. And it could happen today with all the idiots we have. But and just no, I wasn't. Or I don't remember my parents ever discussing it. See, back then, moms were designed to take care of the kids in the house, and dad worked, so there wasn't a lot of discussion.
About it.
Just be quiet, Mom. You're a lady. You don't know what you're talking about. My dad was that way. Very opinionated, I guess.
And this is about civil rights. Recently, I think the Confederate flag was like banned from some places or sold or something. How often did you see the Confederate flag then?
How often do I see it?
Yeah, how often did you see it then in the 60s? Because I see it quite often a few times.
When I was in the service, I was stationed in Florida, and we'd drive up to North Carolina, just straight up. I think it's Highway 75. Back then, we still had where you had to have. We stopped at a restaurant in a military convoy, and they wouldn't serve the black soldiers, so we all got back in. But you would see it quite a bit. It was there. There's still a lot of people, Bible Belt people in that area. So it was quite prevalent, I guess is the word. But I don't necessarily agree that they should take them out. It's part of our history. There's a lot of things that the flag represents. It'd be like me coming to you and say, hey, let's take all United States flags and burn them because it represents the United States. That's stupid to me.
And do you have any more questions, or do I have any more questions?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this one. Do you feel people care about their president more today than they did then?
Yes, because he's a lot more powerful, and there's a lot more things going on now than there was in the 60s. There wasn't all the nuts, and I think they need someone they can trust and respect and feel that he has the knowledge to take care of the country and take care of us first. There's so much crap going on that everybody wants a free bag of money, and it just ain't going to happen anymore. So I think they're more concerned about people that follow through.
All right. Is that all the questions?
Yeah, we're done.
I would like to thank you for letting us interview you.
Okay, I hope it was helpful. It was
Thank
fun.
you, yeah.
A lot of memories.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
I hope I was helpful.